welcome to the Arena Hero. This is David from Unison Games Cafe. You're watching this video because you are a loyal subscriber to our YouTube channel, or you scanned the QR code on the custom starter deck that you have here. Either way, this video is meant to inform you of this deck's contents, some strategy on how to play, and ways to upgrade it with cards you've purchased from your local game store or that you have in your collection. In this video, we will be discussing the Ninja class shown here. This is Katsu the Wanderer. There are 3 ninjas in this game. This is the one from Welcome to Wraith. More so, this video will be a great resource to those who are looking into some insight on how to play the class, how they function in the game, and some strategies you can take advantage of. Without further ado, let's open this up and get started. Alright, when you open your deck, you'll be presented with a ready-to-go constructed deck here in this bag. You have everything you need to play the game of Flesh and Blood right here. The rest of these cards, the remaining cards that make up the playset of every common card for this hero from Welcome to Wraith. That's the set that the ninja was introduced in. Let's spread out the contents of your starter deck. Alright guys, a lot of stuff to focus on here. We've got the constructed deck kind of splayed out. We've got our side cards here I'll put off to the side, but let's focus first on the meat and potatoes of the deck, and that is the hero. And in this case, it is Katsu the Wanderer. So Katsu the Wanderer is the first ninja hero that was introduced in Welcome to Wraith. The main mechanic for the ninja is cards involving combo. Here's an example right here. You'll notice the word combo here. All that really means is that any cards with combo are gonna care about a specific other card. So, like open the center, I just showed combo if head jab was the last attack that you did. So here is head jab. Head jab itself does not have combo, but it has go again. The idea, again, is that you're gonna start with something, go into a combo, and then usually finish off the combo with a third attack. In this case, open the center is going to care about Fluster Fist, of which we have right here. So that is your 3-hit combo. Judging by damage here, you're looking at 2 damage from the head jab. Open the center would go up 1 to go to 6, get go again, and then Fluster Fist would finish it off with 2 if open the center was the last attack, +1, and it gets +1 for each attack that has hit this combat chain, which would have been head jab and possibly open the center. So that would have got another +1, 2 to 4. So you're looking at 4, 10, so 12 damage on the whole combo. Now there are numerous combos. So the ones that we're focusing on this deck are your Fluster Fist combo that you saw, and Rising Knee Thrust, and to a certain extent, Surging Strike. But you guys can kind of break them all up as you need, so you can kind of visualize what that looks like. But Katsu's main ability here is that the first time an attack action card, so again, it can't be one of your weapons, it has to be an attack action card. So something like head jab. The first time it hits, you can discard a card with 0 cost, and that's what we're focusing on in this deck. Cards with 0 cost, to go find a card with combo. So what Katsu allows you to do is that once per turn, and it has to be the first time something hits. It's not a may. You have to do it when it actually hits. So when head jab hits, you can discard a card. Let's say it's head jab. So let's say you discard another head jab to go search your deck for that missing piece. So what comes after head jab was that open the center that we were talking about. You can go find open the center. That way you can play it and continue your combo. So a lot of people with Katsu are trying to block that initial attack, which brings in the Harmonized Kodachis. So Harmonized Kodachi costs 1, only attacks for 1. Doesn't look very good on the surface, but the common strategy here is to lead by paying for 1. If there's a card with cost 0 in your pitch zone, Harmonized Kodachi gets go again. So we use this yellow head jab, we pitch it, give 2 resources, 1 to attack with Harmonized Kodachi, have 1 left over. Here's the 0 cost, giving this go again, coming in for 1. Use the other resource, come in for another 1. You do have 2 one-handed weapons, so you can use both of these. So that's 2 damage that makes it very difficult for your opponent to block. No one wants to discard a 3 defense card on just 1 damage. So a lot of times this damage is kind of what ends up killing your opponent because it's very inconvenient to block. They want to block this head jab. They don't want to waste on these. But as life totals come down, they might get forced into some weird blocks trying to block this damage. So that's your main strategy with Katsu. See if you can hit with your leading combo card like a head jab to go find the other pieces. Don't be afraid to pitch a card to go find a piece for a later turn. Maybe you know you're close to getting the Crane Dance line. Go get the Crane Dance, throw it in your arsenal so that you have it for a future turn. But that's the main strategy with Katsu. Utilize your Kodachis, get some of that incremental damage in there because that will bring the life totals down. Let's take a look at some of the equipment. All right, onto equipment. Our namesake equipment card for the ninja is the Breaking Scales ninja specific equipment. This gives you an attack reaction, allows you to destroy Breaking Scales to give it a attack reaction card with combo +1. If you're on the second stage of the combo, bring in Open the Center again. You need Open the Center to hit because you know you're going to be going into a Fluster Fist, which cares about attacks that have hit, or this is going to be the first one that hits. Maybe you led with Open the Center, not caring about the head jab. Maybe you led with Open the Center. You can give this +1 so that you can get that hit, go search up your Fluster Fist with Katsu's ability. Again, Katsu's ability, when you look at it, the first time an attack action card you control hits, so it has to hit. So if you led with your Kodachis and Open the Center is all you got, and you're just going out with it blind, paying the 2 resources, they might want to block this. If you can get +1 and go over the top and get that hit, you might be able to use Katsu, go search out the last piece of your combo, which in this case would be Fluster Fist. So Breaking Scales, super good. Also has 1 defense, should you need it. Put those guys back there. Onto the chest piece, you've got good old Iron Rot Plate. These cards are not to be overlooked. There's a lot of situations where you just need as much defense as you can. And Vest of the First Fist as kind of an additional customization point. When an attack action card you control hits, you can destroy Vest of the First Fist to get 2 resources. So let's say you've led with both Kodachis. Let's say you've got a handful of reds that are going to hit really hard and you're missing those resources. You can use Vest of the First Fist to have a really big turn. Let's go into the head slot. You got your good old Null Rune Hood. If you're watching this video and you're not sure what Arcane Barrier is because you don't know what Arcane Damage is, feel free to check out either the Wizard or the Runeblade video, or check out the Learn to Play that you see on the side of your starter deck, and that will explain what Arcane Damage is, but you might need that. You also have the Hope Merchant's Hood, which you can destroy to shuffle any cards from your hand back into your deck to draw that many cards. If you're looking for the missing piece of a combo prior to actually hitting with Katsu's ability, feel free to use the Hope Merchant's Hood, shuffle a couple cards in, see if you can draw into it. And then in your leg slot, another Null Rune piece, your Null Rune Boots, and Snapdragon Scalers gives you another attack reaction. You can destroy this, target attack action card will cost 1 or less, gets go again. So you lead with something that doesn't have go again, or a generic attack like, let's say, Soul Beach Strike. So Soul Beach Strike hits, it gets go again, but let's say it doesn't hit. Let's say your opponent is going to fully block it, and you really need to get go again. You can destroy your Snapdragon Scalers, give it innate go again, so that you still get the action point off of this without it hitting, and make sure that you continue to go. Punish your opponent for overcommitting for that 4 damage. And that is your equipment in the Ninja starter deck. Alright guys, let's take a look at some of the cards that you're going to see in your Ninja deck. Broken them out by essentially like combat chain. So let's look at one of the biggest chains that you're going to have in the deck. So it starts with Leg Tap. Leg Tap, just a simple 1-cost card. Great to use after your Kodachis because you're going to, let's say, pitch a blue, pay for the 1 Kodachi, pay for the 2 Kodachi. Great way to go right into a Leg Tap. You'll see as Rising Knee Thrust, which cares about Leg Tap, costs 0. So after, let's say, you've done 4 damage with this red Leg Tap, you can then combo into Rising Knee Thrust, which if leg tap was the last attack this combat chain, this gets +2 and go again. So that's going to let you continue to go. 4 damage coming in on top of your 4. So now you're up to 8 damage. You got go again from the rising knee thrust, obviously.
Finish him.
And then you're finishing it off with Blackout Kick. So feel free to search up that Blackout Kick. If rising knee thrust was the last attack this combat chain, it gets +3. Coming in for 7, 8, 7, 15 damage right there on that combat chain. That is your leg tap combat chain. You also have your head jab combat chain. So head jab, simple 0 cost, great initiator, 3 damage on the red. Like with all of the starter decks that we make, you have access to all the other colors in your sideboard. And then head jab goes right into Open the Center. Open the Center is actually a good card just to lead with too, just because it's a little bit higher on the damage for purposes of trying to hit. But if head jab was the last attack this combat chain, Open the Center gets +1, go again, and dominate. So the red one here is going to come in for 6. It's got go again already. They can only defend with 1 card, so it's probably going to hit for 3 anyway. And then it's going to allow you to finish off that combo with Fluster Fist. 6 Fluster Fists in the deck here. Fluster Fist, again, caring about Open the Center, which just hit. Let's say it came in for 3 damage. If it was the last attack this combat chain, it gets +1 for each attack that has hit this combat chain. Now it cares for each attack. So that means your Kodachis. So in a perfect world, 2 Kodachis, there's 2 hits. People usually don't block them. Maybe the head jab gets blocked. Open the Center with Dominate possibly doesn't get blocked. So that's another hit. That's 3 hits now. And then Fluster Fist. So Fluster Fist gains +1 for each attack that has hit this combat chain. But even that, you're looking at 4 plus the 3 that hit, that's 7 damage on the Fluster Fist, and that's a 0 cost on that. So that's your head jab line that you have access to. We also have, from Welcome to Wraith, the Surging Strike line. Surging Strike, just a good attack because it has go again, and it comes in hard at 5 damage. Costs 2, but it also combos into Whelming Gustwave. Now, if Surging Strike was the last attack this combat chain, Whelming Gustwave gets +1, go again, and if this hits, draw a card. So the go again is what we're looking at here, because you could have came in for 5, again after your Kodachis, come in for 5. This is going to come in for 4, get +1, and the fact that it gets +1 brings it to that 4, which is that magic number. So many cards defend for 3. That 1 damage is going to allow you to draw a card, and that extra resource, because now you have go again, even just something coming out with just a simple leg tap or something like that is more damage. You're pushing more damage during that turn because you have so many go agains. That's the Surging Strike line. And then we also have, as a little preview from Crucible of War, we have the Soul Bead Strike, which if it hits, it gets go again. Again, it's got that 4 attack, which is kind of awkward for your opponent to block. So let's say it actually does hit for 1. You've got your Crane Dance line. So you get those. Those are rares from Crucible of War. If Soul Bead Strike was the last attack this combat chain, it gets +1, go again, and can't be defended by attack action cards with base power greater than the number of chain links you control. So again, this is something that matters with a lot of ninja cards. You lead with Kodachi number 1. You lead with Kodachi number 2. Those both hit. What's coming now? Soul Bead Strike gets in for that 1 damage. There's 3 hits right there. Finish it off with a Crane Dance. 3, since Soul Bead Strike was last, it gets +1, that's 4. Here's your go again, and it can't be defended by attack action cards with base power greater than the number of chain links you control. So you have 4 chain links here. Anything with 5 on the card, here's a 2, can't go and block Crane Dance. So it's going to be great against Guardian or Brute that have big 9s and stuff on their attack actions. But really cool way to get your opponent to possibly block in a non-optimal way, or maybe use a card that they normally wouldn't have used to block that attack. Getting into some of the defense reactions, you've got Flic Flak, which is a cool defense reaction, especially in the mirror. When you hear me say mirror, that means going against another ninja. Flic Flak is going to defend for 3 as a defense reaction here. Obviously, you've got the different colors with different defense values. But what it does is allows you that the next card you defend with this turn gets +2. So it's one thing to defend the first attack with Flic Flak, or let's say you're going against another ninja and you block a Kodachi with the 2 Flic Flak. Well, now when they actually hit you with that big attack, let's say you block with Whelming Gustwave. It has combo. It blocks for 3 normally, and now it's going to block for 5. So that's a great way for you to block some bigger attacks, especially with the classes that are going to attack you multiple times in a turn. Going into generics that are in the deck, we've got another defense reaction of Springboard Somersault, just a classic card. Going to block for 4 out of the arsenal. If you happen to go down in life or use it as a strategy, life is a resource. So Scar for a Scar just has go again when you have less life. Great way to start your turn. Kodachi, Scar for a Scar, still have go again. This is coming in for 4. You've got 3 attacks already. All those cards that care about you hitting or having multiple chain links, great card to add chain links to the combat chain. And then last but not least, a good gotcha card, the Razor Reflex, classic card, allows you to either increase damage on one of your Kodachis. They don't want to block that 1 damage and they're at low life. You can Razor Reflex and just kill them right off the bat. Target sword or dagger gets +3. Or target attack action card with 1 or less gets +3, and if this hits, this attack gets go again. So something like a head jab that you really need to hit, and they're going to block with it. Come over the top of the Razor Reflex, give it +3. Now it's going to hit. Now you can continue comboing off. So those are the cards that are in your constructed deck. All right, guys, so now ways to upgrade this deck here for Katsu the Wanderer, beyond going into one of the new ninjas like Benji or Ira, which both play differently. If you're trying to upgrade Katsu here, one of the best cards that you can probably get for him is going to be Ancestral Empowerment. Ancestral Empowerment is going to allow you to target, as an attack reaction, a ninja attack action card and give it +1. So beyond something that you saw like in the equipments, like Breaking Scales, which cares about a card with combo, if you really need to hit with like your head jab, like you see here, you can Ancestral Empowerment it after your opponent thinks that they have it fully blocked. And not only is that going to give it +1 so that you can get the hit, so that you can get the Katsu trigger, but also it's going to draw a card, so it's going to replace itself and let you continue to go. Really powerful card. Ancestral Empowerment is a Majestic out of Welcome to Wraith. And then switching things up and going and looking at Crucible of War, the Crane Dance line that we touched on that you guys get 4 of here. But Crane Dance line, this puts your opponent into a tough predicament, and if you finish it off with Find Center obviously cares about Crane Dance. If it was the last attack this combat chain, Find Center can't be defended by cards with resource cost less than the number of chain links you control. So in a perfect world, you've got 2 Kodachis, a Soul Beat Strike, a Crane Dance, and then Find Center. That's 5 chain links. If they have anything below that number, they can't defend with those cards. And if you hit, you get a Zen State token. And a Zen State token is super relevant in a lot of matchups, especially the Rune Blade, because it takes 1 damage off of everything. So in the mirror, it could be the reason why you beat another ninja, because you're blocking vicariously a lot of their damage. You're blocking all the arcane damage from a Rune Blade. And it's just less damage that you're going to take. So really cool ability. I do like Find Center out of Crucible of War. So be on the lookout for that. Those are a few cards I would be on the lookout for from your local game store, or you can head to www.unisongamescafe and see if we have them in stock. Other than that, this has been the starter strategy video for Katsu the Wanderer, which is the ninja class. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Flesh and Blood content, and we will see you in the arena.